Go ahead and get started so that we have plenty of time. So welcome to our team call for July 31st. Who else is cannot believe that we are halfway through the year?
More than halfway.
Yeah.
7 months.
2019 is flying. So we've got some work to do for end of year goals, right? So this is a great time of year to really kind of realign and get refocused on what you want to accomplish with the second half of the year, especially if you are nowhere near where you thought you'd be, wanted to be at the beginning of the year, which that happens to a lot of us. So it's a really great
shout out to Kelly Riley, though. I just saw her post. She is going after big goals, and it's really exciting to see. So give Kelly all the spirit fingers for her premier goal. I have a feeling she can do it. Very cool to see that.
Team Rising Tide on the rise. Kelly drinking wine out of the bottle, per usual. Or champagne, something.
We can't hear you. You're muted, Kelly.
It's the cutest little rosé, so I figured, hey, last day of the month, let's go big.
Look. Yep.
And congratulations to Ashley, you guys. Huge congrats to Ashley, because today was officially her last day of work, and she's really going all in, balls to the wall with coaching now. So she is on a high, and it's
yay
celebration. Yes,
it matches, and I didn't even mean for that to happen.
There's a celebration. Where's everyone else's champagne tonight in celebration?
Shout.
It's 2-0.
Cheers.
I got my Prosecco on.
That's awesome.
All right. So let's get started. So just two quick announcements, and if anybody else has anything they want to chime in, you can go ahead and do that. But we found out that Morning Meltdown packs are going to be on sale again next month, which is amazing. And we're also getting promo codes again next month. So no promo codes left behind is going to continue on for next month. So if you saw great success with that, awesome. And if you feel like you kind of missed the boat this month, then awesome, because you get to do it all over again next month. Does anyone have any rank advancements they want to shout out this week? You can just unmute. I know I saw one in the team page. Maybe they're not on. No.
I have a rank advancement. One of my coaches just got Emerald. I don't know if she's on. I know she's working on her coming out post, but it is Cindy Garcia, and this is my first coach to hit Emerald, so I'm so proud of her. Like I said, she hasn't even come out yet. I'm literally trying to help her right now work on her coming out post. So
yay, that's so exciting. Congrats.
That is exciting. Can you share what, I know she's not on the call, but who is she talking to? Who did she get enrolled without even doing a coming out post? Who did she reach out to and enroll?
Her husband, and then another gal who signed up with Morning Meltdown. I don't know if they personally know each other or anything.
Awesome.
But
easy peasy. Spouse and one other person.
Yes.
Cool.
Congrats to you, Cindy, if you're on, and if you're not, hopefully you'll watch a recording and see us shout you out. So awesome work, guys. Awesome growth, Maggie.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have shout outs? All right. I figured overcoming objections would be an awesome call tonight, because I feel like as time goes on, sometimes we forget to really go back to the core basics, and these things are skills that we can always be working on, honing in on, getting better at, improving. And even if you know them, it's still good to kind of have a refresher sometimes, or maybe you hear something said a little bit differently. Of how we can be more effective in our conversations. And I wanted to do this specifically because we do have lots of new coaches on the team too. And overcoming objections is really, truly key to being able to actually truly help people. So I jotted out a few notes that I just want to kind of go over with you guys. And then I'm going to actually open a PDF and kind of go over it with you that has some some of the most common objections that we get, and then also kind of a breakdown of some of them. And you're going to be able to see this PDF after. So if you want to go back to it as a resource, it's in the team page, it's in the files. But I figured this way we can bring it all to the table. If you have something you want to add to it about how you overcome them, or you have a specific question about this objection because you get it a lot. So I just want to make sure you know this is like an open table. Feel free to, chime in if you want to, or add value if something is working really well for you. But I just really wanted to quickly cover this because I think it's such an important part of this. And that is the mindset about it. So I wanted to just say, like, you have to know that with what we do, you have to expect that you're going to get objections, rejections, no's and not now's. You're going to get ghosted. People are going to be skeptic. Some people are fearful. It could be that they've had bad past experiences. They've had failures in their journeys before. Maybe they have someone in their life or in their home that doesn't believe, and they're kind of projecting that skepticism on them when they share that this is something they want to do. Maybe they're working against their own fears and their limiting beliefs of if they're capable, if this is possible for them. We're working against a lot of things when it comes to objections, right? So I just want to throw this out there that, like, don't kill your mojo and don't kill your excitement and your motivation with having expectations that this is going to come easy. And that you're going to go out there, you're going to post something, you're going to invite 5 people, and everybody's going to say yes to you, and you're just going to hit Success Club, because it doesn't happen like that. More often than not, it doesn't, right? This business takes consistency and it takes work, but it also takes really developing skills and becoming effective with these core vital behaviors, which is why we talk about them a lot. So I want you to start thinking of objections as an opportunity instead of as like a dead end, because a lot of times we get an objection and we're like, oh man, it bursts your bubble because you were so excited about somebody joining you and you had the expectation they were going to say yes. You had the expectation they were going to sign up, right? And then you kill your own vibe because then they say no, or they ghost you, or they were like so ready and then they come back and hit you with an objection, right? So start looking as you're at objections as an opportunity to further develop the trust you have with someone, the connection you're building, and also the value of what you have to offer, which is kind of a twofold thing, because to be able to add value, you need to ask questions and explain the value in a way that makes sense to that specific person. But you also are adding value when you are explaining why this total solution is going to be the perfect fit for them, or why the coaching opportunity is going to change whatever it is that they really want to see be different in their life, right? So making sure we're seeing it as an opportunity instead of a dead end. Remembering that this is a numbers business. So let's say you invite 10 people. One person might say yes or maybe to you. If you invite 30 people, maybe 5 are going to say yes or maybe to you. The thing is, this is normal. Like, it is, I just want to reassure, especially if you're like, gosh, like all I keep running into is no's and objections. Like, you're not alone. You're not probably doing nothing wrong. Yes, we can always improve our social media and our invites and our follow-ups and all that kind of stuff, but it's totally normal to be getting lots of no's, objections, or people not responding. It happens to all of us, myself included. So I just want to kind of reassure you with that. Don't let that defeat you, because the reality is, if you look at it this way, the more consistent you become, the more people you talk to, the more people you connect with, the more people you invite and follow up with, the closer you are to finding that person that's going to say yes to you. The closer you are to finding that rock star coach, that challenger that wants to lose 100 pounds, that girl that is so excited to join you, right? And you're going to have to work through the people that are really not that interested, or it's not a good time for them, to find those people that say, heck yes. And like I always give our team as an example, every single coach on this call said yes to someone at some point, and I guarantee that whoever invited them probably had 30 objections before they got to you saying yes, right? So just remember that. And then remember also that your transformation matters. Like, this launch that we are committed to, I'm assuming most of you are doing Morning Meltdown. I'd like to say all, I don't know. Even if you're not, going all in on a program, especially a launch, it's not too late to join us for Morning Meltdown if you haven't committed. But these are always great ways to build your trust and build your testimony that you're sharing on social media, because your story matters, your transformation matters, and being consistent on your social media matters because you want people to know, like, and trust you, right? So when they get a message from you and they go to look at your page, because how often have you had someone send you a message and then you're like, who is this chick, right? And then you go like click on their profile and you kind of scroll through the last like handful of posts they made. A lot of people are doing that to you. So keep in mind, if you want people to like have a matching view of what's happening behind the scenes along with your social media, that we have to be making sure people are getting an opportunity to know, like, and trust us. So when they're coming to your page, are they seeing real deal? You're human, you're on a journey, you're a busy mom, you have struggles, they can relate to you. And are they feeling inspired, empowered, or motivated by you in some way? And are they knowing that from following you that there is something in regards to change, whether it is a physical, mental, emotional transformation, or financial, or with a business opportunity, freedom, what it's building for your family, having more passion and fulfillment, right? Like that goes along with the responses we're getting behind the scenes. So we have to make sure that we stay on top of that too. Does anybody want to add anything to that before I go open the PDF and we kind of dig into objections?
I will.
Yeah.
I have been hardcore battling objections and struggle bus for a while. And I just wanted to say, like, just keep moving, because I've been talking to a woman for a year and she still hasn't committed, but right now we're at like the teeter point. And just like believe in yourself too, and know that what you're offering is amazing. And if you feel great, other people will resonate with you too.
Yeah. And Ashley is a great example of someone who's been sharing her story and been sharing her transformation. And it's taken a while for people to come around and be responsive to her. So I had said to her the other day that, like, imagine if you had quit 6 months ago when it was really hard for you, that you wouldn't be helping the people you are right now, because you keep showing up and you keep showing up, and eventually you will help the people that have been following along. Okay, so I'm gonna do a screen share, and let me open this PDF so that y'all can see it. I did this so that you can kind of follow along with something while we go over it, rather than just watching somebody talk the whole time. So if we get to one that you're like really stumped on, or you feel like you struggle with a lot, please feel free to stop me and ask questions about it. Or if this is one that you feel like you're really confident in overcoming, to just speak to that specific objection. So, and like I said, this is in the files of the team page. If it's not in Aspire Nation, we can get it up in there and in Jess's team page too. But this way you can always kind of go back to this as a reference. Okay, so one of the most common objections we get is, I don't have the money. And I saw a few of you comment this in the team page, and we're just gonna quickly cover all these. So breaking down the cost. But I wanna add something to this first, and that is the process of what happens before you actually get to breaking down the cost to somebody. Because if you are not asking questions or sending a health questionnaire form, if that's how you're running your business now, like I've shared my Google form that Jess had shared with me that she uses, which asks people to fill out what their goals are, what they struggle with, how's their digestion, how's their energy, how's their nutrition, and it really breaks down. And even if you're not using a questionnaire form, which they take a minute to create and they're fantastic, even if you're just asking questions, which if you want those, I can share those in the team page too, because that's what I used like forever, is if you're not asking people questions to get to know specifically what they struggle with, it's going to be extremely challenging for you to be able to add value of why you're suggesting the pack you're suggesting and creating the value around it, so that when you share what that costs with them, they're not like, this girl wants $180. I'm like, what? Because if there's no emotional connection or no connection to them about why this would actually help them achieve what they're looking for help with, they're just going to think it's crazy expensive and turn away, right? So I'm curious to ask anyone who said, I don't have the money is an objection you get all the time. Would you mind sharing if this is a part of your process that you feel like you can improve, is asking more questions before you share the cost? Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to jot that down because we'll do a little deeper dive in the team page about that. But
yeah, I would add to that too. You kind of, before you kind of say, okay, I've got this person on the hook and I'm going to offer them a challenge pack or whatever, and you're like, this is going to be the perfect solution, and then you're like, here, you get Shakeology and BOD or whatever, and they're like, oh, I can't drink Shakeology, I have a whatever allergy, and then you're like, oh, how about we do BOD and Performance Line instead? And it just sounds like you're reaching for selling them on something instead of saying, okay, I know they have digestive issues, they have allergies, or they can't do that, and you get that kind of information in your form, and then they say something about not having the energy, and then it's the right fit for Energize and BOD. So then, like Data's saying, like you're speaking to the person for exactly what they need in building that value. So then the price, I'll go into more of it too, but keep going.
Right. So just kind of adding on to that is when you are explaining why you are suggesting something to someone, like I said, if you don't ask the questions, you're not going to be able to explain it, because you're just going to be giving a cookie cutter message of this pack comes with this, the meal plan, shaker cup, Shakeology, but they have no understanding of what is Shakeology going to specifically do for them. Do they have cravings? Do they have poor energy? Are they on the go all the time and they go through drive-throughs? Like, what is it that they've shared with you that they need this specific package? And then you're going to break down and explain, why is Shakeology specifically going to benefit this person? Why is having Ultimate Portion Fix and a structured nutrition plan going to make it so easy? Because it breaks down exactly what to eat, exactly how to eat it. They can customize it for their goals. And then when you share what the package comes with, they have the understanding and the connection of, wow, this could really be a game changer for me, because she just explained everything in this and how it's going to benefit me, right? So breaking down the cost. When you break this down, like I said, this is a little bit older, so certain things on it might be out of date, but when you break down a bundle of what a package consists of, so let's take Morning Meltdown for an example. I never explain what this comes with without explaining what the full price of it would be if these were all put separately, right? So you're like, you explain what's in the pack, you explain it comes with the nutrition plan, it comes with the daily tracker, it comes with the journal, the calendar, all access to on demand or Netflix of Fitness with every single program for the entire year, right? You explain everything that comes with it, and then you say, this is on sale right now for $160, plus I have a $10 off promo code. If you were to buy all of this separately, it would cost you over $300. So I personally think this is the best fit, the total solution that you need to reach the goals that you have, and you're getting it at a super discounted bundle price buying it this way. And it's like I think we all love getting a bargain on things for something we really want. And I think that's a really important part of how to explain it, so that they really see the value. Okay, it sounds great, but I don't have the money right now. So personally, when I get this objection, I immediately suggest the coaching opportunity, because I think when someone says, I don't have the money right now, that is an opportunity to say, have you ever considered joining? Because this can hold you accountable so you can really get started on your nutrition, your wellness, and your own journey. But did you know if you started sharing your journey, you could help a few friends and you could get your own product paid for? And just throw it out there, because you never know who would be like, I would love to do that. I do that all the time now, and it really piques a lot of people's interest. Whether they join that month or not, they're keeping an eye on a potential of everything that you're sharing, right? Because you have shared with them that this is not just a fitness challenge they can join. There's an opportunity there for them too. And the reality is that if nothing changes, nothing changes. And sometimes I, I tell people that, like, this is an incredible opportunity for you to better your life, but also for you to help other people in the process. And you could start earning extra income from home. Worst case scenario. So this one is a great reminder that we have a bottom of the bag money back guarantee. So sometimes people, like I said, have failed with other things. They've done a million other things. They've done diets, they've done fads, maybe they've done other products, other companies, didn't have a great experience. And you have to remind them that there's a refund if so they need it. And when I tell people that, I always say there's a bottom of the bag money back guarantee. If you drink Shakeology for the entire month and you don't feel amazing, at the end of that 30 days, you can get a complete refund. And I say I've never had that happen in all the years I've been a coach, but it makes you feel a little bit better to know that that's an option for you. Okay, priorities in comparison. So sometimes you get someone that might say, like, I have a gym membership, but I never go. So I know that I would never be consistent with home workouts. Or I already drink this protein shake, so I really don't need Shakeology. And that's where you have the opportunity to really explain the difference. So for example, if someone says, I have a gym membership, but I never go, you can say, well, what do you think holds you back from being consistent with going? Maybe it's that they don't have accountability. They don't have support. Maybe they're really not clear on what their goals are. And these are all opportunities for you to explain, what's a challenge group like? What's it like to be in a challenge group and have the energy and the support and the camaraderie of other people that are holding you accountable, where you have daily check-ins, right? You're always looking for an opportunity to build value with whatever it is they're telling you. There is never a dead end type of a response. If it's a protein shake, you're explaining that this is not a protein shake, right? This is a nutrient-dense shake where if you added up every single ingredient in Shakeology, it would cost you over $700, right? And most people are not protein deficient. They are nutrient deficient. So explaining, try it for 30 days, see the difference in how you feel. Does anybody have questions about I don't have money objection specifically, or a specific one that you get that we haven't really covered?
I just wanted to challenge everyone to do something that's really helped me, which is find out what your main objections are and then go make a video about it. Because then you have a third party, and Dana's laughing because I tell her this too. Like,
you tell me this every day.
third party tool to send people, and you're not going to be confident about something until you teach about it. And so if everyone's giving you money objections, then I have a video that's how to get your challenge pack paid for. I think it's how to make $150 in your first week as a Beachbody coach or something like that.
Yep.
And the numbers, like people are like, oh, it like makes sense to them. So if you could it's our job, I believe, to educate people because they're uneducated when it comes to what we do. So if you are having consistent objections in the same area, make a resource and teach people about that. That's all.
Yes.
Yep. And I wanted to just add that on the same note, like I've literally been saying, okay, before you sign up, like, so let me do it twofold here. Amanda's saying, I'm afraid I sound salesy when I overcome objections. Yeah, you don't want to like be pressury and like car salesman-y and like, but you want to relate to what they're saying. Maybe you're using the I feel, felt, found approach. Like, I know how you feel. I felt the same way, and this is what I found. And you share that, and you don't say like, you're wrong. You should buy it because you'll whatever. You don't want to come across as pushy with those responses. You want to come across as empathetic and knowing where they're coming from and just telling them what it could mean, because you might just be opening up their eyes to something they didn't understand. So what I've been doing along the line of what Jess just said, I say like, you know, I know you're not quite ready to start yet because it's an expense, but could you brainstorm like 3 people who might want to do this with you? And if you talk to them, even before you enroll, reach out to your friends and say, hey, I'm considering doing this. Would it be something that you'd want to do with me? Get those people like on board essentially before they even enroll. And then it's like, okay, yeah, I think I have a couple people that would do it with me. Then you're building up that coaching mentality. You're building up the ability for them to get their challenge pack paid for before they even start. say like find 3 people, and you can say I've got 3 people to enroll. You enroll, then you enroll them, and you make your money back that same day, week, whatever, pay period. So another way to just encourage them to start coaching.
I do that a lot because that's what I did. That was literally like signed up and got mine paid back within 2 weeks by having a few friends. I actually have a girl I'm talking to right now that is in that scenario because she had a money objection. And I just wanted to add to that is a lot of people, she explained to me that she's scared to reach out to her family and friends. She's like, I have people in mind, but it really intimidates me and I don't like sounding salesy. So you can offer to these people, hey, you can give them my phone number. I'd be happy to text back and forth with them, or you can put me in a 3-way message with them on Facebook or wherever, and talk to the people for them and help do the same process you would do like anybody else. Go through this person's goals. What do they need? How to help them? And then that way, if that person signs up, you can help them sign up under them. Does that make sense? Okay.
And one more thing I just wanted to add in here while we move on to the next one. I think we really just need to also meet people where they're at, right? Just because if they're firm, I can't afford that right now, you talk through some options, you talk to them about coaching, and you get them started somehow. You don't lose them, right? You say, okay, well, would you be able to try it for 2 weeks and kind of, share it on social media, see if people want to do it with you. It's free for the 2 weeks. Like you can, it's when I always talk about it like this top-down approach, like start with the total solution and then see how they're feeling about prices and say, well, what is a price that you would be comfortable spending to get started? Like, do you have like, an average, a baseline, or a what's the word I'm looking for? But just an amount in mind that you would be flexible enough to spend to get started on your goals and see where they're at. Sometimes in my Google form, you guys have seen people are, oh no, I'm not ready to spend a dime. Well, that's fine. I'm still going to respond to them and say, join our Get Elevated community with your free BOD membership that you're, whatever they already have BOD or something like that. So meeting people where they're at. You're going to find people who simply cannot afford to spend that the first day you talk to them, right? Like if someone talks to me about a product and I'm like, I want that, but it's not in the budget this week. Well, maybe next week I'll watch my spending and be ready to invest in that. So just understanding the first time you talk to somebody or the first time you invite them, it's probably going to be a no. And then you're going to build value, relationships, loop back with them, follow up. I know you've been saving up for this thing. We've got a new one. We've got a promo code. Maybe this will help you afford it a little better if you're still interested in starting. Those kinds of things all weigh in on the art of the follow-up, right? Yep. We don't usually get a yes on the first invite.
Yep.
Rarely ever.
I want to add to this one last one that I totally forgot that's so important, especially when it comes to a Shakeology objection, is I tell people that when I was first starting out, that I literally sat down and thought about how much I was spending a month on like to-go iced coffees, on eating out 1 or 2 nights a week, on just like random things that were doing absolutely nothing for my health. And that investing in Shakeology, I actually ended up spending more money and it boosted my energy. It got rid of my cravings. It helped me get off that like large ice Dunkin' Donuts kick every day, right? So if you are someone that kind of like changed your budgeting a little bit to be able to afford Shakeology, explain to people how you did that and don't feel awkward about it, because sometimes people just need to see differently that they can prioritize this just like you did. Okay, so I don't have the time. This is a great one. We have a lot of super busy working calls. If Kelly, Riley, if you're on here, if you want to chime in, someone who is still working, how you overcome this. It's kind of harder to do when you work full time, even if you didn't always at some point. But relating back to your story and how you're making it work for you. But I personally, because I am full-time now, I do explain that a lot of the majority of coaches on our team work full-time jobs, that we teach you exactly the most important basics to focus on so that you can get effective work done in however it works in your schedule. And that this can be done in pockets of time. If you don't have an hour or 2 to sit down at night, you can do 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes on your lunch break. There are plenty of coaches that have Jess is a great example of this too, that worked it around super busy schedules of working and or kids to make it work for them. And the reality is that you have to look at it like sacrificing some time now is buying you more time in the future, because you're building a business that gives you more time and financial freedom. Does anyone want to chime in on that still works what you say to people when you get that objection?
I can chime in. Well, I can say, thankfully, because of this opportunity, I am not working as many nursing hours. So I've been able to reduce that. So I was working more than I'm working now. And I honestly tell them that this is one of those things that you create what you want, that you can put in as little time or as much time as you want, but it's basically what you're going to want to get out of it, you're going to put into it. So for me, like I'll tell them, like I used to watch TV all the time. I used to sit there and do X, Y, and Z. Hence my family's watching Big Brother right now and I'm on this call, something that we do as a family together. But like, I now see the bigger picture in that it's allowed me more time, and now I can pick up my children to and from school every single day because of this opportunity. It didn't start like that, but the time that I invested and the time I put in, simple things like going to work after I dropped my kids off, I did 12 follow-up voice messages on my way to work. Boom. So that by the time I was out, I was able to respond to the ones that had responded to me on my way to get them at camp. That wasn't taking any time away from my children, but it was following up with them. So I find pockets of time. And although my Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays are really busy with being in the hospital and the kids, I always tell them that I don't do as much those days, but I'm always present. I'm present and committed to my health and my journey, number one. But then the days that I'm off, I go hard. Like I do a lot more on those days to kind of make up. So there's, I always tell them I'll help you figure out the ways to find time in the pockets that you have. But even if you have 30 minutes here or 15 minutes over a lunch break and 15 minutes as the kids are, sitting and watching a show, there's ways for us to find time if it's important enough.
Amen, sister. Okay, so the next one is sharing about the training and the resources we have. So you can share with people that are like, I don't know what to do. I don't want to be salesy. I've never done this before. Whatever that objection is, it can be along with an objection of time, right? Because sometimes objection of time is really just saying, I don't understand this. And it's like scary to me too, is like reassuring people that we have a successful organization. We have a successful team. We have trainings, we have mentoring, we have weekly calls. They have a ton of support and resources at their fingertips to teach them how to build a successful business. It's not like you are saying, hey, come join me to build a business and then feeding them to the wolves to figure it out on their own. So reassuring people that you as their coach would help them figure out what works best for their schedule with what they want to achieve and the time that they have to put in. And then if the objection of I don't have time, I personally don't ever get this for workouts anymore. I feel like with time, I mean, maybe sometimes with like super busy moms, but does anybody really get the objection if they don't have time to work out a lot? I'm curious.
I sometimes do.
Yeah.
And I'll say, no. And I'll joke with them and be like, I'm calling your bluff. I already said that, so I can tell you that it's not true. It just wasn't a priority, but we can do this. We can find the time. And then I'll like joke around with them about it. But I'm like, yeah you do. We all do.
Yes. I'm busy. Yeah, Annalisa, we do get that one a lot. That is true without, I guess, saying I don't have time. Same thing.
I actually had a lady yesterday say that she didn't have time because her husband's on disability and she's working 3 jobs and she already has to leave by 6:30 in the morning. And I went, okay, lots on your plate. I wake up at 5. Do you want to work out with me? Like, you know what I mean? So it doesn't make them feel awful, but like just if you make it more as a joke, I think it sounds less salesy and more like join me, like come with me.
And I think too is that we do have programs that are like Transform 20 that are 20 minutes. So if someone really is pressed on time and has an insanely busy schedule, because there are people out there like that, you can explain. They don't have to sign up to do a 45-minute program. There are 20-minute options for them. And something is better than nothing is what I tell certain people is like, if you can't commit to doing 5 to 6 days a week, can you commit to 3? Can you commit to 3 30-minute workouts a week, right? That will improve your health and get you towards those results you want, but still be able to work into your schedule. And if you can find your groove with a few, you can start finding a groove for the rest of them, right? But explaining if you do get that objection with workouts, that they don't have to drive to a gym. There's no guesswork on what to do. These are short, they are effective. They can do them from anywhere. They have access at home, at work, on the go. And it's literally no guesswork for them to have success. They just have to show up and do it. So I always tell people it's less about finding the time, and it's more about making the time and actually committing to making that time.
And when you guys are speaking to your brand, so this has changed for me because I went obviously from being home full time and doing the workouts whenever I damn well pleased, and I was appealing to stay-at-home moms. Well, now I'm back to work, and I'll be going back actually more full time. Long story, but I'm appealing more now to people who work because I'm getting my workout done. I'm getting up at 5 a.m., right? So stick to your brand and stick to those people. So if you're finding people are like you guys have been saying, like, I just can't get up earlier. Girl, I felt the same freaking way. I hate getting up in the morning, but I love the feeling when I get home from work of not having that workout hanging over my head, right? You want to speak to why you do the things you do and how you can help them do it too.
Yep. Okay, someone read your message, committed, and then didn't answer you. I don't know if I really need to go over this component of it. I mean, we can touch on it very quickly, but this is more so like if someone has signed up and then they stop responding, which it does happen to me from time to time. Does anybody else find that this happens with new challengers, that they kind of sign up and then go MIA? Mm-hmm. So I personally, when this happens, I check in with this person at least once a week for that first month if they're not responding. And a lot of times I'll say something like, hey, I'm sure you're probably just like me. You might be so busy, you see a message and you forget to respond. But like, I want to make sure that I'm here to help you get started and support you while you dive in. Is there anything that I can help you get ready to go over with your nutrition plan, with your fitness, like about how to make time? I know sometimes maybe like you got a little overwhelmed when it actually came and it was time to start. I can't help you if I can't connect with you. So I just wanted to make sure you know that I am here for you every step of the way and to reach out when you need me. And sometimes it's as simple as, I find this happens a lot, is that people are afraid to disappoint you. They're like, hey, I didn't get to start yet. Life's been crazy. Or maybe they really just were busy, but staying connected to someone if you need that. Okay, so
I know a lot of people too. I interrupted someone. Yeah. I know a lot of people were saying how they might follow up too many times. And once you get a feel where like you've sent a bunch of messages and they're like, they've really ghosted you, I'll send a message and say, hey, I know, I understand it's not the right time. I haven't heard back from you in a while. And that's okay. I'll loop back for the next group unless I hear from you first. And then like, don't touch base with them again until the next group, the next launch, whatever. Give them time, give them space, but it's not worth your time to keep following up and then getting in a negative space about like, why is this person ignoring me? Yeah, because they don't want to talk to you right now because they don't want to commit, and that's fine. Just keep showing up for them, but don't nag them. But I just wanted to say also, don't do number 3 on this page, please.
Yes, I was going to say that. That's why I said it's kind of out of date. So, okay, digging more into follow-ups. I have never really seen this asking for feedback one, but I think it's kind of a great idea. Asking people, especially if you're a newer coach and you don't feel well versed in your messages yet, asking if there's feedback of how you've explained things. Does this make sense to you the way that I explain your package for you? Like, are you seeing how this could benefit you and how this could help you achieve their goals? Because I would love to be able to communicate it better, because I'm just so passionate about this and really want to be able to help people, including you. Do you have any feedback for me? I really kind of like that approach, especially if you're new and you don't feel super confident in your conversations yet. You might have people that give you great feedback.
Hey, Dina,
Yes.
This is Ray.
Yeah.
I totally just want to pop in and add to that. Like, or just emphasize it, I guess, is like, I actually have been doing that like all along. And it's really interesting now that I've really kind of just made the decision these past 6 months or so to like move forward with this business and really work it. It's amazing that people I follow up with like remember that I was like that when I was like dabbling around at the beginning. Like they remember that I asked for feedback like that. And those are some of the people that are, you know, wanting to join it now because they liked my honesty, I guess, you know, and like my genuine vibes. So I think that goes a long way.
Yes, I love that. Okay, so going back to number 2, relating to their why. So I do this a lot, especially because I'm a mom. So like when you have moms that come to you and say like, I've wanted to achieve this goal, I need to lose weight, I have no energy, I want to be more active with my kids, because a lot of times I kind of prompt people, especially people that say like, hey, if it's a completely like, I want to look good in a bikini and lose 10 pounds, I'm like, that's incredible. It's so important to feel good in your own skin. But I also want to encourage you to think about having a deeper emotional why, because if people do not respond to you, you can go back to them and remind them about that. So I personally love doing that, because then I can go back and say to this mom, like, I know how you feel. I felt like it was super selfish to make this time for myself in the beginning, because I really did. But this has helped me to be a more happy, energetic, confident mom. And when you change your life, it ripples onto every single person around you. So like if you can get connected a little bit more to that person's why, especially if they connected to you on something social media that you might have in common, reminding them of that when they followed up. And like, I am so honored to help you, and I can't wait to help you achieve XYZ, because I know how much of an impact this is going to make on your life. Number 3, we do not do, because that is sketchy and salesy. That says, help me hit a goal. Please do not ever do that when you are following up with people. That's awful. It's saying, to me, that says, hey, I need to hit a goal and I need you to help me. And our goal as coaches is to be helping people hit their goals, not vice versa. So just scratch that one. The referral. So if people give you an objection or they're just not interested, you can totally ask people for referrals. Hey, I know this isn't the right fit for you, or this isn't a good time, but do you have any family or friends that you know would like to get healthy and fit? Because I'm just so excited about helping people. And you never know, because I do have customers refer people to me quite often. I actually had that happen this morning. Asking for the follow-up. So personally, when I follow up with people, if I've sent them a share cart, or I've sent them an invite, or say I've sent them a graphic to pick their Shakeology flavor and ask for their email, and they haven't responded to me quite yet, I like to follow up with people and create a sense of urgency by saying something like, hey, our group kicks off next Monday. I just wanted to let you know, like, once you order your pack, it takes 5 to 7 days to arrive, because that creates a sense of urgency and a timeline without being pushy. And right now, since we have promo codes, you can say like, I've been holding a promo code for you. If you want to be able to use that, please let me know by tonight, because I have other people that would love to join our group, right? Creating a sense of urgency and helping them feel special because you are holding a spot for them, right? I just want to okay, buddy. I just want to throw in there about follow-ups, because a lot of people are like, how often is too often? I'm afraid to be annoying. I don't want to like turn people off by following up all the time. I personally am so persistent with follow-ups. I'm not following up with someone every single day, but I will follow up with someone that has said yes to me, they are ready, they have a share cart. I will follow up with them after 2 or 3 days, and then I will follow up with them again. And if I don't hear back then I will follow up with them again next month and just say something along the lines of, hey, I know you were ready to get started last month and it just didn't seem to be like the great time for you. I just wanted to follow up and see if now is a better time. And then re-invite them to whatever it is you're starting for that next month.
I have a real quick question.
Yeah.
So with us just getting new promo codes for next month too.
Yep.
would you suggest going back out to the people who you offered the promo codes to in the first place and being like, hey, I got special permission for you to save this promo code for you for this month, so let's get on it, start saving, girlfriend, like, especially when it comes to money objections that people have had for a while.
Or you can say, awesome news. Like, I know it didn't work out for you last month, but I just wanted to let you know, like, we found out, so exciting that we got promo codes again this month. So if this month is a better time for you, I'd love to have you join us. And just keeping it short and sweet and simple. There are
I think, sorry, Nina, I was not, anyway, I think definitely having those behind the scenes conversations is important. We don't want promo codes to like lose their luster and just be like, oh, another month, another sale, another promo code. We really want it to be like specific. So I also recommend like reaching out to people and saying, hey, I have a promo code or whatever with, for someone who wants to enroll this month. Do you want me to save that for you? Is it something that you're going to want? Instead of saying like, let me know if you want it, or I have one when you're ready. You want it to be like, are you ready? Because I've got this one to offer you. And create that sense of urgency of like, if you're going to pass on it, that's fine. You can spend whatever you want when you're ready. But I wanted to reach out to you first and see if you wanted me to set it aside for you.
Well, and that's kind of like what I was going off of, to where like, if you say like, hey, I got permission for you, it sounds so much more personalized and like you're looking out for them.
Yeah.
Which you are, but
Yeah, you could even swing it as like, I still have this promo code and you can still use it. It was extended and you can still use it. Do you still want me to hold that for you?
Yeah.
Because I have, you might say, because like otherwise I'm going to offer it up to someone else who comes ready to make a change or something like that.
Yep. I just want to throw on here, we could honestly do an entire call on the art of the follow-up. I think we probably should in the future, because follow-ups are so key. And like most people that you help every single month hitting Success Club, the majority of people that I help are always follow-ups. They're not, one of them was an initial invite this month, but that was someone that I followed up with 4 times within this month. Right. So don't be afraid to follow up. Be afraid not to follow up, because people need to see you. They need to see you're consistent. And I call this being passionately persistent, because I can't tell you how many times people say to me, thank you for being patient with me. Thank you for not giving up. And thank you for like waiting until this was the right time for me. Because if you think about it, if you message someone and you invite them and they're like, no, not now, it's not a good time, whatever, and then you never talk to them again, they automatically think exactly what you don't want them to think. And they think, oh, she was salesy. She just wanted to make a commission off me and she didn't really care, right? By you following up with people, it lets them know that you are actually interested in helping them and you are interested in their goals and you care enough to follow up with them to see if they're actually ready to make a change, because you're invested in helping them if they are, right? So something that I do a lot in my follow-ups at the beginning of a message is I say something like, I really don't want to annoy you. Or I'm like, I make a joke and I'm like, hey, it's me again, like surprise. And I just say I'm passionately persistent because I believe in what I'm doing and I know that this could truly transform your life. I really don't want to annoy you, but I just wanted to follow up one more time because our group is kicking off next week, or I still have one promo code I've been saving for you, or whatever it is that you add on to the end of that. But if you kind of make a joke about the fact that you are persistent and you are following up with them and you are being intentional to reconnect with them, people don't mind at all. Like I have people that are like, thanks for being so passionate and persistent. Like it's funny to me. And that's why I started doing that, because I am persistent and I do not give up on people. And sometimes I say that in my message too, is like, I'm really sorry, but once someone has said to me, what they want to achieve and what their goals are, like I really care and I'm gonna keep following up with you. So if you get to a point where you feel like you're hitting that spot where you followed up a lot and they're not responding to you, you can always say, hey, I just wanted to follow up one last time. And like, if you don't want me to continue messaging, just let me know so I can take you off my follow-up list. because you really don't want to annoy people. But sometimes when they get a message like that, they're like, oh crap, I should have responded to her because I'm kind of being rude by ignoring her, right? So don't be afraid to throw things in your conversations like that, and be confident in the fact that you follow up with people, because that's awesome that you do. It shows that you actually care. Do you have to get the shake? So this top one is more specifically about if you're going to build a successful business. Like, we know Shakeology is a cornerstone of our business. It is an incredible product. And just like anything else, we have to be products of the products. If you are not using it, if you are not following it, if you are not drinking it, it's very hard to share it and follow with that belief in what we have to offer if we're not doing it ourselves. Specifically when you are talking to people about a challenge pack, or, you know, they tell you, I want to lose 30 pounds. I have cravings. I have this, I have that. We get a lot of objections like that in specifics, more so to Shakeology than we do fitness programs or nutrition plans. I always tell people that I suggest they drink Shakeology for at least the first 30 days, and then they make a decision, especially if they're skeptic about it, because it truly does make a difference. And a lot of times I will go as far to explain as, when you start embracing a fitness routine and when you start changing your nutrition, right? A lot of times why diets don't work is because you're cutting calories and therefore you're cutting nutrition. Shakeology ensures that you are getting the dense nutrition that your body actually needs to feel and function its best. So when you add this in, it's going to help you stay on track with your nutrition. It's going to boost your energy. Going to curb your cravings. And if you can really start to see success and confidence right out of the gates, you're going to continue on with this journey. And I want you to have the biggest opportunity to really be successful with the changes you want to make. And that is why I'm a firm believer that this is an important part of getting the best results. That this is a better deal, right? So we kind of explained this earlier about making packages all in one, explaining what comes in it, explaining the difference in the price and how they're getting a way better value when they do that. Sometimes we do get the objection that I am pregnant or I'm breastfeeding when it comes to Shakeology, and I do specifically what this says. I say consult with your doctor to see what they say about it, but we have tons of coaches on our team that have been pregnant and or breastfeeding. I breastfed for 2 years drinking Shakeology. And if anything, especially with breastfeeding moms, babies are always taking the nutrition they need, leaving moms lacking. And this is an incredible way to ensure that you are getting the nutrition your body needs. And I'm not going to go too far into the whole pregnancy thing, but Rachel is a great example. Rachel is pregnant. She's drinking Shakeology. There's tons of coaches on our team that have as well. A lot of doctors will suggest drinking it as a prenatal vitamin and just taking extra folic acid. But again, refer them to the doctor to check first. Okay, here's a good one. I wouldn't be a good coach, and I'm going to try to wrap this up because we're getting late here, but I'm not at my goal weight. I love this one because honestly, this is one of the best things that people can tell you about why they're skeptic about coaching, because it gives you an opportunity to explain to them, we are not perfect. We are not all, celery eating people with abs. We are real people that are on real journeys, sharing things that are real and relatable, so that anyone, if you are someone who wants to better your life, no matter where you are starting at, you'd be a great coach. Because if you're going to be committed and dedicated to that journey and you're going to share it with other people, you can inspire someone, you can help someone, and it makes you so much more real and relatable when you're not a perfect after photo or at your goal weight, because somebody else sees you and thinks, I weigh as much as she does, or I have similar goals to her, and look at her getting up, being consistent, crushing it every day, drinking her shake, showing up in her Instagram stories, doing her workout. There is no such thing as perfection, and nobody relates to that. So make sure that when somebody says to you, I just feel like I should I should finish this program first, you can say, you're real and you're relatable right now. This is a perfect time for you to start sharing your journey. And when you get to the end of that first transformation and you share, boom, here's my transformation photo, all these people that have been watching you this entire time are like, hell yeah, that's awesome. I want to join her because they watched you do it, right? I'm not a salesperson. That's fantastic. Neither am I. We don't train our team to be salespeople. That is exactly opposite of what we want. You can tell people confidently, our team trains us on how to build real connections and real relationships and actually care about people and their goals and how we can best help them achieve those. So we're sharing more than we are selling, right? Ensuring people of that, because that is a really, really big common objection that we get is being salespeople. I also tell people the best way to get over feeling like a salesperson is to develop belief themselves by committing and following through with their own journey. Because when you have the belief of what we do and the products we offer and the community we have, you just want to share that with everyone. It's like going to watch a movie. You love the movie. You go home and you text all your mom friends like, hey, go take your kid to the Lion King, right? It's the same thing with what we're doing. So you can tell someone, you can commit and create that belief within yourself, and then you're just going to be sharing what you love just like you would with anything else. This one is talking about your network. If people give you an objection about coaching, I don't have a big network. This is me. I live in a small town. That's fantastic. You have social media at your fingertips and you can build whatever size business you want. It doesn't matter where you live or how small of a place you live in. And you can explain to them, we have coaches. We have trainings on how to really grow your network and connect with people, right? I don't understand social media and I don't know what to post on Facebook. Do we feel like we need to cover this one tonight? No, we're going to skip that one. And that is actually the last one. So I'm going to stop my screen share. I did want to cover, I saw, I think it was you, MP, that posted about business builders, about finding business builders. And I want to say just kind of like an off the cuff rule with network marketing is that like 80% of people that you bring on are gonna do very little. Like it's hard to find people that want to go all in and build big businesses and big organizations. And that's just kind of like what we talk about with the numbers game, is that like we have to mentor people where they're at and help them build this the way that they desire to build it. But if you think about like what is going to attract people that want to build businesses on social media is sharing more about business, right? And I think one of the best things I ever heard someone say about this is if you want to find people that want to work hard and want to hustle, you have to share that you work hard and that you hustle. So sharing that in your Instagram stories and also talking about it on social media, like how you're making time for this in your mom life and in your routine. Because I personally think that like, sometimes we try to make coaching just look so much fun all the time, right? Where it's like, join me, I'm getting great results. It's so fun. We have such an awesome team. We have a great community, and all those things are all very true. But if someone comes into the coaching opportunity thinking that this is just fun and this is easy and they can build a really successful business with no work, that's not truth at all, right? So I think it's important to be a little more transparent on social media that we do work hard.
My question specifically is like the transition in your conversation when they have, what kind of questions are you asking them that are like kind of giving you those little nuggets that they might be a good coach? Or because most of the people that obviously are joining my team at this point have joined me in the past, like have been challengers at this point, right? Kind of like what I did. I joined and didn't start coaching for a while. So I get that the business builders are probably going to be those people who have seen the results. Yeah. But if I'm going to bring it up in a conversation with a cold lead, like, you know, what kind of questions are you asking people?
I personally don't cold invite to coaching a lot unless it's off of a post that I've made on social media or something in my stories specifically. I don't ever just go message people like, hey, about the coaching opportunity. If you have been talking to someone like we were saying tonight about their giving you money objections, like that's an open door into sharing the coaching opportunity. If you're talking to a mom that's telling you like she doesn't have a ton of time, like she's stressed out, she hates her job, whatever, like those are opportunities to talk about the freedom that you're building with coaching. I personally feel like you just always have to look for open opportunities of what coaching could do for someone, just like we do with like what challenge pack solution is going to fit for someone, because why everyone coaches is extremely different of a reason. And if we're just trying to like throw it out there of kind of like the let's throw everything at this person of like, coaching can give you more income, more freedom of time. It can earn you travel. It can earn you friendships. It can do all of these things. Well, you don't necessarily know what is going to resonate with that person. Do you know what I mean? So like, I personally just feel like continuing to build the relationship and the connection and seeing why the coaching opportunity could add value to their life and then explaining it in a way that seems valuable to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And it's nice to have like the insight of like what other people are doing, because obviously like we hear go invite to coaching, and I'm like, right. Okay, I can go invite the challengers that I've already invited every single month, but you know, it's like, who am I really inviting at that point? So, okay, it's good to just kind of hear that feedback.
And a lot, like honestly, most of my coaching invites come from posts that I've made on social media. Because a lot of people that are liking posts about things like that are people that maybe are not your challengers or people you haven't connected with. And you can keep it short and simple because it's really easy to just say like, hey, I see you following my stories all the time. I see you liking some of my posts about myself and my team and the trips we've taken, or like the summit event we just came back from. Have you ever considered doing what I do? Like, it's literally that simple of an invite.
That's exactly what I was just going to say. Like, I don't send cold invites to just, well, actually, that's not true. I probably have. Like, if I follow a few people and I just message and I just say, I might just start the conversation with like, your social media is killer. Like, are you pursuing a business online or something? I might like start with that. Like, what are you doing on social media? Like, you're spending all this time creating gorgeous filtered photos. Like, are you developing a business from your following? And I might just ask that and see where they're at. And they're like, no, I don't know how. Or in conversations might start that way. But agreed with Dana. Like, if they're following, I might just say like, girl, like I just went to your page and you're working out and you're sharing your journey, and have you ever considered joining the team?
Yep.
Like putting it in the court, like I'm assuming that they're following me. They know what I do, right? It's not just a cold invite. It's like, have you ever considered joining me? And they're like, joining you doing what? And you're like, oh my, yeah, whatever. So you get the gist of it, but just ways to open up conversation about it. And if they're like, no, you know, it's not for them or whatever excuses they give. And I'm like, well, that's cool. Like, you know, we always have challenges going. So if coaching's not right for you, I'd love to have you in our challenge group sometime. And then they might be like, oh yeah, that I could do. Or they might be like, okay, thanks. At least you can go back and follow up with them another time.
You know what, MP, we're going to put a call on the schedule for next month of inviting to coaching, and we're going to find some kick-ass guest speakers that love sharing the coaching opportunity, that talk about things differently than we do on our team, and see what we can get rolling. Just jotted that down. But I personally would say keep it simple, because it's just like anything else. Like if you think about it too much and then you get too wordy, it's like, what the hell is this person inviting me to? Just saying like, have you ever considered doing what I do? Or like, hey, I see you're a stay-at-home mom too. Like, have you ever considered, you know, doing something from home, and just starting conversations about it.
Totally. Thank you guys.
Does anybody else have questions or anything they want to add and chime in? If you're a new coach, if you're newer, was this helpful? Yeah.
I see some head nods. Mm-hmm. They're all like, mm-hmm. Good. We've got a new month upon us. We've got new goals to set for tomorrow if you're going to bed now, or if you're doing your follow-ups with a few last-minute share cards or whatever that may be. Follow-ups tonight just may look like, hey, I sent you a card with a promo code attached to it. Or like, with the promo code I sent you, just wanted to remind you, I know there's only a few hours left in the night, but if you're awake, like you might want to lock that in because you'll lose the promo code tomorrow. You have to send them a new one, but they don't know that. But August, the only thing I want to say, because it's late and I know we don't want to take more than an hour usually on these calls, but the next thing to invite to, right? We always want to have something to invite to. So people can still join our morning meltdown group. Like, get them started in week 2 and just let them know, like, you're starting week 1. That's okay. You're still going to be doing cardio meltdown and all of those things. You're just going to be like, 5 days behind us or something. Or you can double up if you want to, but just encourage them to get started. Like, that group is rolling, and we're always going to have these accountability polls each week. So no matter when people start, they can just jump in that accountability post. They can share their results after week 1 when we do our results posts. So just keep inviting to that and you can always say, like, hey, we have a new wave of challengers starting week 2 who didn't quite jump on board when we started, and that's cool. So, if you're still interested, or if you saw what we've been doing and it looks interesting to you, there's, you can still get involved in our morning meltdown group. All right. Dana, thank you so much for leading tonight. You are a gem, and I appreciate you so much. And thanks to everyone for getting on.
Yep. We'll see you ladies hopefully on Monday night on Difference Maker calls.
Yes.
And then next week.
Boomerang.
Everyone's already off. You lost the momentum here.
I didn't want to get anyone being like,
Hopefully y'all tag me in some.
Tag me.
I'm so tired from these morning workouts, guys.
I know, me too.
I'm so tired from summer with kids home. I mean,
oh my God. Miss Beckley will back. Henry goes on the 12th. I'm so excited.